I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, the weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic book show where I give you your fix of everything that's going on in the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, well, it's kind of a bittersweet day because we're looking at Batman issue number 51, the final swan song issue for Scott Synder and Greg Capullo, the all-star team who have shepherded this book from the beginning of the new 52. To put it into perspective for you, they've been working on this book for as long as I have been reviewing comics online professionally. In fact, the first book I ever reviewed was Batman number 9. Yeah, I know, right? It was the beginning of their Court of Owls storyline, so, you know, it's with a heavy heart, but also with a lot of excitement that I give you this final issue.
So as the comic opens, we check on in with Bruce Wayne and Alfred in the Batcave, doing something we haven't seen them do a lot of in the last little bit. What with all the earth-shaking events that have been surrounding them, they're palling around and joking and having a good time. And I mean, really, why shouldn't Alfred be in a good mood? He has his hand back finally thanks to Crazy Quilt's healing stitch, the first in what will be many callbacks to the run that was. Strangely, what doesn't get called back to is the child army Alfred started while Batman had his memory lost, or indeed the woman that Bruce Wayne had fallen in love with when he lost his memory, but hey, you know, why let that ruin the mood, am I right? In Gotham City, some manner of attack has plunged the city into darkness, again very much like Zero Year. Gordon, who is now back to being chief of police following his own short stint as the Caped Crusader, summons Batman. They figure this sick deja vu has to be some manner of villainous plot, and they have to get to the bottom of it quickly because all the inmates in Arkham Asylum are riled up now and attempting an escape with the power off. And so the Dark Knight heads off to Arkham to battle what is essentially the same group of villains he fought in the very first page of the very first Scott Synder Batman. Again, this is all a bunch of great callbacks. Only instead of a brawl, believe it or not, the Asylum security does its job under the newly reinstated Jeremiah Arkham, who, and has anyone else noticed this, that Jeremiah Arkham looks different in every single comic he's in? No one can decide what this dude actually looks like. Well, with the Asylum inmates dealt with, Batman figures maybe this is a gangland thing, maybe Penguin is to blame, maybe this is him finally making his big push for power. Only, no, when Batman goes to check out the Iceberg Lounge, Penguin and his cronies, they're just as confused and surprised as everyone else is. Well, then if it's not the usual suspects, then it has to be something far more sinister, right? This has to be the work of the Court of Owls, the original villains that Scott Synder created for this series. How perfectly fitting would it be for them to prove to be the final battle that Batman would have to face in this issue, am I right? Only when Batman goes undercover within the Court of Owls, he finds out, nope, this wasn't their doing either. Oh, they're planning to do something evil called the Mantling later, which I get the funny feeling we'll be seeing more of in the Nightwing book, but no, this power outage was not their work either. Now, at this point, Batman is starting to get incredibly frustrated. That is when he swings by the paper to see a man rummaging through a bunch of desks. This guy, surprise, surprise, is actually a reformed member of the Whisper Gang. You remember the Whisper Gang, don't you? They were a new gang created for the early issues of the new 52 Batman run. This guy turned his life around and has been working at the paper. He's responsible for a very popular editorial piece called What is Gotham? In fact, the entire issue 51 that we're reading is punctuated with that question being asked over and over again. The journo says when he started at the paper and he started asking that question, Gotham is, he didn't get a lot of good answers. They were very dark, very cynical, and just overall really depressing. But over time, though, since Batman has been doing all this crazy stuff, defeating the Court of Owls, defeating the Joker twice, things have started to change. People have gotten more hopeful. The journalist says it's gotta be hard for Batman, always seeing the worst in Gotham City, always seeing the bad people, but also believing that people can do good. He's a hero who gives a lot of second chances, but rarely ever gets to see them pay off. In this case, he does. The journalist says when he thinks what Gotham is, he thinks, well, it's Batman. The city changes to reflect him. It always has, and it always will be. As the comic winds down, the sun rises, Batman still not finding who was responsible for the power outage, only for it to be revealed that it was a natural disaster. Yeah, that's right, the power got knocked out and everyone just jumped to the conclusion that it must have been some manner of supervillain scheme. If I had to sum up Batman number 51 in one word, it would be symmetrical. It's a celebration of everything Scott Synder and Greg Capullo have done on the book, and you know, for that I really did enjoy it. It also asks a very interesting question, and that is, what would Batman do on a night when there was no crime to fight, no great scheme to unravel, when it was just, act of God, man? I also got the feeling there was a lot of cleanup going on in this issue. Gordon is commissioner again, Alfred has his hand again, all the toys are now safely back in the box and ready for Tom King to come along and play with it in DC Rebirth, and when that happens, I'll be there to talk about it. Overall, I would give this issue what I would give this run, and that is a 10 out of 10. It was truly transformative stuff and something very special to me as a comic book journalist, critic, YouTuber, whatever you want to call me. I enjoyed it, and I think this one will hold a special place in my heart. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and while you're here, why not check out another video I have on offer, or maybe if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you want to like or subscribe. And if you want to support the creation of more videos just like this one, then please by all means check out the Caped Joel Patreon. A little bit goes a very long way, and I will see you all next time.